Oh, it's time to grab your glasses, family. It's time for us to get started. I'm so excited. Sitting up here, Kid Magic, Kid Magic Rock. Shots out. Here we go. Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink, 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 drink. Or should I say, breathe in, drink. Family, make sure you're taking your breath consciously. Get in there and take that breath. It's time for us to get started. I want to start off by saying great Ujamaa to each and every last one of you. We are on Ujamaa Day. We also want to say great Imani to all of the Imani babies because we are learning about Imani through the 7 reflections, through the lenses of the total Nguzo Saba, right? Let's start looking at our principles in depth. So we want to get a Imani babies around the applause because it's your week. It's Ujamaa Day. It's Imani week. So congratulations, family. Let's lift it up. Let's get moving. Let's get to learning. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, please leave comments so I know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Shouts out to Miss Tiandra, who be dropping the jewels in there and also reminding me about certain things. So shouts out to the coochie baby out there that's looking out for a big breath. All right, let's get it moving. Let's get it moving. Now, of course, y'all know I got haikus. I ain't going to say that I don't have no thoughts today because there's a lot of stuff that's popping off out here, right? I'm hearing. So let me just say this, man. It's so much going on. So I can't remember this dude's name, but he has a company called Palantir. South African white boy, right? And he is going around, well, he was going around having lectures about the Antichrist and the absurdity of the shit. If you look at what the concept of the Antichrist is, right? It's a billion and a trillionaire, you know what I'm saying, who has the ability to spy on everyone and has the ability to influence nations and has the ability to structure policy. And what's crazy is you got these white boys running around here with this influence, with these abilities, talking about we need to be aware of the Antichrist and the Antichrist is coming. And I guess they really don't study the mythology. They don't study the scriptures. They just have these thoughts and they don't really think it through, which lets you know they're not as intelligent as you think. Right? Family, we are living in a time where because fools have not been exposed to the real world environment, they have been able to reproduce. And this is what we get. We get individuals who are riding the coattails. Really, literally, when it comes down to it, they're riding the coattails of their violent ancestors. And they honestly believe that it's because of their minds they are where they are. Not realizing it's through the sheer brutality of their ancestors, that they are where they are, that they have accumulated what they have accumulated. And they were able to accumulate what they accumulated because their ancestors prior to them accumulated what they accumulated through violence, through treachery, through rape and murder. Let's be very clear, right? We're not dealing with Lex Luthor, Tony Stark. You understand? We're not dealing with individuals who are truly smart. But even then, once again, that gets back to what I was talking about yesterday, where we got this concept that these smart motherfuckers are the right choice because they're able to look at things from many different angles and select the angles that you come from. And that shit works real good sitting reading a book. But when it comes to real life, because life be lifing. Life be lifing, and you have to get out here and you have to be ducking and dodging. I've been ducking and dodging and moving and flipping and rolling and kicking and punching my whole goddamn life. Right? And my goal has been to block a lot of that shit so that my kids can grow, right, in a different way than I grew. But I'm going to have to sit down and have a conversation with my children because once they get to a certain level of comfort, we're going to have to invest in it. Well, we already got a system, in our tribe and in our nation, right, where our children are exposed to some real shit. You understand what I'm saying? That could kind of help keep them grounded. Because right now we have grown men fantasizing about the end of the world and about the Antichrist. And they got a lot of money, which makes them very dangerous. Which goes back to something I told y'all years ago when I was doing the Daily Toast and not the Daily Spark, right? I said one of the biggest fears that we should have is that we have individuals who are religious and their particular religion talk about the end of the world, right? And they are in charge of a lot of policy when it comes to certain areas in the world. Because when you look at the prophecies that a lot of these people are following, when you talk about the Antichrist is supposed to rise in a certain place. Where's that place at? Where's a lot of turmoil going on right now? Right? I want y'all to really think about that. So when you have individuals that are in charge of your strategies and your policies that believe that this thing is supposed to happen and they feel that they have the ability and they are smart enough to push buttons to make it happen, then you have shit that's happening in the Middle East, or what they call the Middle East, right? I have shit like that happening. Come on now, family. We up here, we rolling dice with dummies. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop. Let's pull back. And we need to really start having the conversations, and we really need to start preparing so that we can start really looking out for each other. Right? Because some of the illusions that we have, because like I said, I have tried and I'm not going to stop trying, but us being able to build community for real. When I was coming up, when people came from down south, or when family members needed some place to lay, my grandmother always had a space for them. Do you not know that we have been convinced that we are not supposed to live like that? We are supposed to have our own space all the time. I know some privacies but we're supposed to leave outside of community and then dive into community when we feel like it. Right? See, that's how I want y'all to look at how we've been programmed. Where at one point in time, families, when you came up from down south, right, you wouldn't stay with family. You didn't have enough money. You wouldn't stay with family until you was able to get on your feet. And then when we look at other people that come from other countries and they come here, well, not as much now, but when they come here, they come and they stay with family until they are able to get up on their feet. And then they return the favor. And in that, they end up building communities. And from those communities, they are able to establish territory, right? In establishing territory, they are able to develop an economic life. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you're in geometry, you should know where I'm going with this, right? But anyway, that's neither here or there. All right, family, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. All right, haikus of the day. Damn, I'm 10 minutes and 43 seconds. We are on the day of Ujamaa, in the week of Amani, during the cycle of Ujima, and this is the last week of the cycle of Ujima, and we are in the year of Ujima. Man, let's keep it moving, family. So here we go. Haiku for this morning. Sat down, pushed that Kuumba button, got to producing. Thunder shook the house, waking me from my slumber. That is true power. It was sounding so beautiful when this thunderstorm was rolling over us, right? And you could feel the house rumble, right? And it was, and then it was, 1 minute it was real hot, and then all of a sudden it started cooling off, and you really see the power of nature, the ancestors, God, whatever you call this creative force and how it works in your life. It is incredible when you see the power of it, right? Actually, it's a blessing because that was a beautiful sleep. Sleeping through the storm reminded me of blessings because I was dry. Because at one point in time when you was sleeping, when we were sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily in my life, but my people, when it rained, we got wet. I'm able to sleep and not be concerned about the thunder, the lightning, nor the rain hitting me. That is truly a blessing. So every now and then when you get depressed, think about that shit. Do you have a place to go when it's raining so that you don't have to get wet? And you could just sit and grab a cup of coffee. Like y'all hear my little thing. I grab a cup of coffee and watch the rain and listen to the rumble of the thunder roll past you. Remember your blessings. Here's one going back to the economic state. The property price, because I had to take all prices. The property price. Too high for us to buy. I guess a fall soon. No, I sense a fall soon. Right? This reminds me of the early 2000s. Prices going up. Credit is available. Well, maybe not as much as it was back when I was young, but I was young then. So, but I'm feeling a bubble brewing, right? So those of you who are thinking about purchasing, I'm not expert, but I'm something's not right. I'm living in an older house right now, and right next door they are building properties that are going for $500,000 in the middle of the hood. I already told you I took a picture of a $500,000 house as I'm walking down Mount Vernon. Look up the property value. Like, how in the... Not that that area is not valuable, but one of the things that I determined when I was buying property and what made it easier for me to surrender my shit was when I started looking at the prices that I was buying shit at. Because this is one of the, I'm not going to call it a fallacy because it's a subtle truth, but property is supposed to appreciate, right? It's supposed to go up in value. But when the when the value of property outpaces the earning potential of the people that live in the area, and in general outpaces the earning potential of most people, that's a problem. I don't have a word for it, but when I start seeing that, because when I was looking at the prices back then, and I'm like, well, shit, this shit keeps climbing. Who's going to be able to buy this shit, and who's going to be able to live in this shit? And then people be like, gentrification. I'm trying to say it. Gentrification, right? But at a certain point in time, that even has to run out. Because the issue for me was more so like what I'm dealing with now. Some people who own property because they believe that it's a business, which we have taught it is. Owning property is a business, and you should extract as high of a rent as you possibly can. Kind of start pricing themselves out the market. So where I'm at, you could look and see what the cost of each of these houses were. Y'all could do it for yourself. You could look at the prices of the property and last time it was purchased. And sometimes owners of these properties approach people that are living and paying fair rents in these properties and say something to them to the effect, well, property appreciates, so I should be able to take my price up. You're right, property is appreciating, but did your mortgage change? All right, cool. The taxes increase. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that. But if your mortgage hasn't changed, then how are you being hurt? You see, this is part of the issue with the system that we live in, because it commoditizes everything. So we're looking at properties as commodities, as business opportunities, rather than places where families can grow to make society better, where families can grow to protect the country, where families can grow so that we can have other healthy individuals running around in our society. You understand what I'm saying? Rather than it being a commodity. Healthcare is a commodity. It's something that is to be distributed. So if healthcare is a commodity, then my business model is based on sickness. So I need people to get sick in order for me to make money. If housing is my business, I need people to be homeless so that I can make money. Right? If I own a factory, I need people to be broke so that the business models are crazy here. And because we don't realize, because we think that it's the only thing, it's the only way to run it, we honestly believe that we have no other choice. When in fact, there are other choices out there, family. We just have been not allowed to really look at them or experiment with them. We have been convinced that capitalism is the best game. All other systems are. Capitalism is a horrible system. Except when you compare it to all the other systems. That type of bullshit, right? That type of logic where people say shit and it just be like, yo, he's right. No, we don't know that, do we? He's obviously benefiting from this, and you're benefiting from the capitalist system too as well, Brother Hotel. Yeah, considering that my people were the capital to help lay the bricks for this motherfucker, and I'm still in this motherfucker struggling. I'm confused by your point, sir or ma'am. I think we all benefit. We benefit from human progress. Not just capitalists, we benefit from human progress. So human progress should be the major goal. Not commodifying everything. We commodify nature. This is why we pollute it. We commodify our children. This is why we over-test them. And and treat them like little adults. We commodify prisoners. That's why we look for ways to put motherfuckers in jail. Or fatherfuckers. Whatever type of fucker you are, we got a space for you in these prisons. Everything in this society is commodified, and you really need to look at that. And think about, is that a system that you would want your children to come up in? Because we have opportunities to really, really, really change some shit and grow. All right, so let's get into it. Oh, I got one more. I sense a false one. That was the last one. So, and that brought this one on. Speaking of bubbles, what would happen when AI finally crashes? Right? Because like people like, well, which AI you use, brother? I do. I chose only because I had to make a choice. But I had to make a choice. I chose to move away from all other AI platforms and move into Google. Oh, I tell why you do that. Claude is so much better. ChatGPT is boom, boom, boom. But speaking of commodities, I have to look at shit. Sometimes I have to be very, all right, what's going to give me the most bang for my buck? Right? Check this out. Now, I have to look at the business models of these things. So when I'm looking at ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT's business model? Yeah, you quiet because it's kind of hard to see because they spending money. I don't even think they made a profit yet. What's Claude's business model? All right, now let me say this. Gemini, and this is just and I'm not an expert at this at all. Gemini is part of the Google system. What is, because Gemini is not a standalone. Gemini belongs to Google. What is Google's business model? Is Google's business model, is it making enough money to sustain or maintain the burn of experimentation with AI? Okay, now go back, look at ChatGPT, look at Claude, look at all of these that are out there by themselves, and the whole model is AI. The AI is not connected to anything. When we look at Gemini, Gemini is connected to something very big. Also, Amazon is going to be coming out. They don't already have. I'm quite sure they do. I've seen it on their Amazon piece, but they're going to actually they're selling cloud space to AI companies, as well as, Google already has a lot of cloud space anyway. So it's but what happens when AI finally crashes is the question. And last one, I know you said, brother, tell me you do 3. No, I did 4 today. Buybacks and low tax causes wealthy to grow more, leaving poor behind. How much longer can this unsustainable fuckery that is going on right now continue? This is the question of the day. But hold on. Yeah. Anime is upset. She got the she's shooting. Hold on, Anime. Calm down. Calm down. Getting back on script. Let's get back. I'm on this why Brother High Tim needs a script. Let's go. All right. So here we go. Many see the flash, a heap see, but few know. But a few know. Because I got to put that in. That's a syllable. Share the noise and own. Is that man haikuing? That man haikuing. Thank you. All right. Come sit down with me for a minute. Come on out. Look out at the avenue and watch the rhythm of our people. We are a beautifully expressive culture full of style, grace, and unmatched creative genius, as we all know. But if we are being honest, we have a bad habit of falling in love with the glitter and ignoring the gold. Our ancestors handed down a profound piece of wisdom from the depths of our African American experience, our experience in America. A heap see, but a few know. It's a direct warning wrapped in soulful brevity, alerting us to the danger of mistaken visibility for true power. Look at how the crowd gathers to watch the spectacle. We marvel at the athlete floating through the air, the artist dominating the charts, or the trendsetters dictating global fashion. The heat sees the surface display and gets intoxicated by the temporary high of being noticed. But who owns the stadium? Who holds the copyright to the music? Who allocates the capital and captures the real structural value of our execution? The ancestors are commanding us to move past the illusion of inclusion and begin the cold analytical work of owning the platforms we are standing in. The ancestors are commanding us to move past the illusions of inclusion and begin the cold analytical work of owning the platforms. We are standing in the final week of the cycle of Ujima for the uninitiated collective work and responsibility anchored in the deep aspect of the week of Amani, or the sacred day of Ujima, which is, what is it? That's right, for the uninitiated, right? This convergence brings us face to face with today's ancestral algorithm. Prosperity is a collective harvest. Prosperity is a collective harvest. Last time, prosperity, right, is a collective harvest. Somebody type in Ashe if you feel that one, right? But you cannot reap a harvest on ground you do not own. True cooperative economics cannot be built on the shifting sands of consumerism. To step into our true power, we have to apply the Via Negativa approach, the art of subtractive self-mastery. We don't need to do more, buy more, or flash more. We need to release the unnecessary weight. Told you I'm going to beat that into you. I hate to say use that term, but y'all know what I'm saying. We must scrape off the heavy buildup of validation. Of validation seeking that has plagued our communities for generations. We have been tricked into spending our hard-earned capital on material status symbols just to feel seen, while remaining economically invisible. This is a noise we must cut. Drop the heavy burden of blame, shame, and guilt. Shouts out to Elder Wakesa for dropping those jewels on us. Drop the heavy burden of blame, shame, and guilt that keeps you trapped in negativity, relying on outside systems for your survival. Release the false narratives that individual wealth equals community freedom. Because we got a lot of people running around here thinking that my wealth is, I represent the community. Individualism is a trap. A single stalk of corn does not make a harvest. To manifest the true essence of Ujima, we have to look inward first. What toxic spending habits can you drop today? Shots fired. Damn. Ouch. What false illusion of luxury can you clear out of your mind to make room for real economic security? True Amani is an active weapon, not a passive crutch. It gives us a fiery conviction to help fund our economic I said that one. It gives us the fiery conviction to stop funding our economic dependency. When we pull our resources and align our collective focus, we become an irresistible force. But the clearest and the clearing must happen first. We got to clear. You got to go in there and we got to burn down. We got to cut down. We got to clear first. Drop the illusions, cut the noise, and let us together build the foundational soil that can sustain a true collective harvest. Yo, so anime, where you at? There you go. All right, get more information down in the description. You can click my dot card down there, take you everywhere you need to go. You get your goose something there at the map. You could become a supporting member of the Daily Spark, become a candle lighter. You get your t-shirt and rep your principle or you can join the Daily Spark Telegram group, or you could do all of them, right? You're more than welcome. Come on. We need some more supporters. Like I said, we're going to get this porch. But hold on, slow down.
It's
there we
the
go.
proverb
I like it. Proverb of the day. This is from our African experience in America. Africans' experience in America. Woo, boy. Shit, we crammed a whole lot into this little stint over here. I know. But anyway, I ain't gonna argue the point. A heap see, but a few know. Now, you heard what I talked about up top. Now what I need for you to do is tell me, what does it mean to you? Ooh. You know what that means? You are now listening to Giami Journey Radio. This is a Heart of a Symbol production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms.